I have a coaching session with someone on it, and I have a deeper brainstorming thing with us on it. And one thing that comes to my mind is, I haven't got a clear answer, and maybe one day it'll change from one to the other. But there is a lot of thinking around the chain breaks at the weakest link. The chain breaks at the weakest link. And another lot of thinking is, well, people don't get famous or people don't get rich from their weaknesses. So focus on your strengths. So it really comes down to an individual thing. And someone like perhaps Tony Robbins on the stage might say, the chain breaks at the weakest link, and you got to fix the weakest link in your life, man.
Yeah.
But then someone else will tell you, no, man, work on your strengths, delegate your weaknesses and don't do it. So it's be careful, because you guys are all personal development lovers, so we often hear a lot of one-way direction, not two-way. And if you actually spoke one to Tony Robbins, he'll probably tell you the same thing. Well, chain breaks the biggest link. And the opposite is also true. People get, and people that are freaks in some area, like they're a freak, like super extrovert, whatever, that's a problem, but it's also a gift. It's a super gift, and it's a super shadow. Some people will be very in the middle there. Hi there, Adrian here, and this is a video from a Zoom session that we do. We do these Zoom sessions every Sunday, and we take questions and answers from the audience. Some of our students, some of our members. We never know what questions are coming up, so I'm always excited to do these sessions, and I hope to see you at one of them. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below and check out the other playlists that we have. Thank you, enjoy. With NLP is essentially the nervous system and how the nervous system uses like language and labeling. If you're doing yoga and you're stretching somewhere, you have a sensation or a constellation of sensations. Those sensations are across your nervous system. But we put a labeling on top of that, and we say that's pain, or we say that's stretching. So the nervous system is the way the whole nervous system interacts, and the linguistics being the labels. And there's a big difference between labeling it as pain, back pain, and if you change it to back stretching, it brings you to a whole different pathway of programming. So we can change our natural behaviors. We can even change our personality by changing the relationships between the nervous system, the linguistics, and the programming we use. But what makes NLP different is it started in the field of psychology, but it started with some psychology guys saying, we did psychology because we wanted to change the world and make it a better place. But the university kept kind of saying, no, we're not here to change the world, but we're here to label things. Bit of an exaggeration. But they wanted to study what went right with people. So we want to be able to look at what goes right in giving someone confidence. So rather than looking at what goes wrong, which you can, and you can spend a lot of time internally going, oh, what am I doing wrong? Struggling and coping. But if we can look at the mindset of someone that is confident, or even look at the mindset inside ourselves at something we are confident in, then maybe we could learn to copy paste that bit of programming and put it in other areas of our life where we need it more. Yeah. And sometimes we might have to actually go into what's causing, there might be something internal where we got to go in and find the pain, and maybe meditate, contemplate, accept the gift of the pain and transform that, and have our confidence up. Or maybe recognize the shadows we have, because we all have shadows. Maybe recognizing our shadows and what's ours, and that can help us grow our confidence. So we can look at programming that works, programming that doesn't. We can take programming from different areas of our life, programming from different kinds of people, and a whole pile more strategic ways to increase confidence dramatically on a variety of levels.
structure is of this. We want to increase awareness about self-confidence. Then we want to talk about the consequences of having too high or too low confidence, and then maybe to find some solutions of NLP solutions for increasing confidence. First, I want always, I'm starting with something. What is self-confidence? With definitions, always starting from definition and then going from there. So definition is feeling of trust in our abilities, qualities, and judgment. Self-confidence is something that is courage to know yourself, to believe in yourself, and to act on your beliefs. So it is from this thing we can see that confidence is all about self-belief, is belief systems.
That's the definition of self-confidence that we've given. But what's your definition of self-confidence? Is there an experience coming up, or is there something in front of you in the next days or weeks where you don't feel confident? Like, you know, as William said, when you're present, you're present, right? And I'm asking you to kind of go into the future, so not be present. But now, is there an experience coming up in the next days? I just want you to get that experience in your mind's eye and see that, however you see that. Do you see yourself doing something in a couple of days or a couple of weeks where you don't have confidence? I know for me, it could be approaching a particular day or a particular relationship or a particular person. And when I think about that interaction, I get a particular picture in front of me. And it's pretty blurry. It's not really clear. You know, and my picture's a certain way, but yours might be different. So if you get a picture in your mind's eye, of something coming up in a few days where you don't have a lot of confidence in doing it, get a picture. And I want you to notice the picture and what's kind of the qualities of the picture. Is it clear or fuzzy? Black and white color? Is it still? Is it moving? Is it bright? Is it dark? Is there any sound with the picture? And the volume or the pitch, or the tone of what you can hear, or a rhythm. And you know what all that makes you feel. So I just want you to pay a bit of attention to those qualities I just asked about. Okay. Now, Florian, are you giving me a big high five, brother?
It's actually not a high five, it's a raise hand, because I just don't get this picture thing. So if you...
That's okay. Yeah. If I could, Florian, I'll take your questions and I'll try to be a bit fast so everyone can kind of get more of an understanding. Not everyone works very well in creating pictures. Not everyone works with pictures well. But Florian, it might make more sense in a couple of minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Might make more sense in a couple of minutes. Okay, just a moment, Jay.
Yep.
Because Jay, there is something you're looking forward to next week. And it might just be Friday night. Or it could be something else. And I want you and I want all of you to think about something that's coming up in maybe somewhere around the same time frame, but something you are confident in. What's something that's coming up that you are confident in? And it could just be going to have a drink with a friend or having a coffee on Friday morning. Or it could be going to something that you already know. Okay, you've got something? Oh, Florian, I can't need your camera on. This is when I can tell. Yeah, see if you can make a picture of something you are confident that's going to happen in a few days. Okay, so get that picture. or make a picture of yourself doing something. Yep. Now, is that clear or fuzzy? Is it colorful or dark? Yep. How are the qualities of this picture? How are the qualities of this picture different from the qualities of the other picture? And for some of you, the other picture might have been hard to create. And maybe this picture is easier to create. Maybe this picture is brighter. I don't know. Might be brighter, darker, dimmer. Might be fuzzy, clear, focus. It might be moving. It might be not moving. It might be close. It might be further away. Could be higher, could be lower, could be wider, could be skinnier. Could be at different angles. And is there a different sound? Could there be a different sound? And that sound might have particular volumes, tones, and pitches and rhythms.
You mean the clearer picture is the more confident you will feel when it happens?
Was it like that for you?
Yeah, it would be like this for me. Yeah. For example, dating with a girl, and sometimes you don't know how to talk, what you need to talk about. Yeah, it's not clear at all. And that's why you feel
struggle with that, the more you struggle with that, the more you will shine.
And that's why you don't feel confident, because you don't know how to do, what to do. But if you make it clear, if you make the preparation, you will feel confident. Yeah, that's my opinion. But you're right. You're
already coming up with solutions. Good work. You're a smart man.
Yes, great.
Yeah, JJ.
Just an example. Mine is exactly the opposite to what Vlad was saying.
Yeah.
Because I have a little anxiousness over a meeting, sitting opposite a table with my ex, or soon to be ex-wife. Although we communicate well, there's some very difficult things to discuss. And the picture is so clear in my mind and stark, because I've attached a lot of value to this, that I've actually foreseeing every little detail of it. And yet I've got a training coming up with a lot of group of men, which I know what's going to happen. And because I'm relaxed about it, I'm not worrying about the detail. I just know it's going to happen. It's going to go well. So just it's a contrast. So there's no right or wrong. Yeah.
The reason I like to kind of do it something like that way is because that allows you can experience a picture without confidence and a picture with high confidence, and see the contrast and the differences. And from thinking about that, maybe you come up with a variety, hundreds of solutions that you can find. There's no end.
Yes, that is a solution. Adrian gave it working. This was NLP submodalities, is NLP skills we are using. So always trying to work with this.
And for the coaches,
make difference.
For the coaches or NLP practitioners, we can do like a fast change, or perhaps a surface level change. And the surface level change may have deeper results, and we can go for more generative and deeper level change. I mean, let's say there's a lack of confidence in talking to girls. That might be a lack of confidence there, or it could be a sign or a symptom of more, right? And it could be a lack of confidence there, and it might be a lack of confidence in, say, 4 different areas: in doing business, in meeting people, in golf, and in something else, you know. And maybe you could do 4 different NLP processes, or the same process 4 times. Yeah. But if you go deeper, go for a more generative change, perhaps you might get to, a root, and not necessarily a root cause, but you might get a root solution. And if you change it on a deeper level and all 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas, now, if we tell them what to do they'll get so far. But if we allow the client to get down to that root and come up with their own solutions, like Vlad just did, if we take them down and they find their own solutions, those solutions will be more generative than any kind of advice. A lot of non-coaches, and I'm 100% guilty of this, even as a coach, we often put in answers or suggest answers or give advice, but because we've given advice, it ends up being more of a surface level solution. We've done surface level solutions before, it didn't work. But if we can get down and do a generative change, you can unfold a whole lot more. Then self-confidence, self-love is places where it's really perhaps worthwhile to go down and do those deeper changes with, Miss Jennifer, core identity perhaps, or something on that kind of higher logical level, higher kind of metaphorical level about the way things work.
Yes, and going back to in coaching usually, yes, our approach is always to ask questions and to encourage the client to give it those answers, not to suggest, not to give suggestion, do this or what, do this. And regarding confidence, I was doing some research. It is my focus previous few months. So one of the things I found is that usually clients are using confidence, but with too much generalization. So maybe they do not feel confidence in one area, but feel confidence in other areas, and they can say, "I'm not confident," and not doing nothing.
Sorry, and one of the key words there, Darko mentioned, was generalization.
Generalization, yes.
You know, sometimes you might see a chair and you automatically know, or you automatically go, that's a chair. I know what chairs are. And you see a different chair and you know that's what a chair is. And then for the rest of your life, you know what chairs are. And then one day you sit in one and it breaks and you're like, damn, that wasn't a chair. The mind also generalizes things, and we can easily generalize too broadly. If we like give someone a little bit more confidence and it just goes general, it might be better to work on one specific area first. So if you work with one specific area, what will happen then, Darko, if you just smash confidence in one area?
Yes, it is a further process, but when let's say, I will talk about my example. I have a period in the life when all other areas was good for me, because there is different part. It is relationship, it is work, it is health, different part of life. And for example, in my case, I was not satisfied with my professional area, the job I'm doing, and it influences on everything else. Instead of I was doing too much generalization, and after that I learned to be more specific. If I feel, when I say I feel no, I am not confident, to put area, in which area I'm confident. So that's how I'm not put so much fear and self-judgment and negative feelings about self. So one thing when we are working with confidence is to be selective, to be more, to describe which area I am not confident in. Let's say I'm not confident in professional thing, and then further, when we are going to discover the confidence, what specifically in professional thing. Let's say I'm good, maybe I have confidence in starting business, but I'm not confident in communicating with people. So then maybe I can find my way to hire someone, so to spread out the responsibility, who is going to make these communication things, and I will just do the business. So that's why it is always learned through NLP that generalization is not too good, but we are always making generalizations, and learn to go more specifically in the things. And going more specifically in the things brings awareness, and it always brings solutions.
Yeah, all the problems can be gifts. You know, everything dark is light, and has its opposites. And by the way, some people believe, and this is totally cool, some people believe that if they pursue an exercise, maybe salsa, and they like it, and they believe, and they might do salsa for 3-4 months and get their confidence up in salsa. Would that spread across to other areas of life? Yeah, could. Maybe, could. And maybe it would go for a while. Maybe. But a lot of people would do it. And that's totally cool. Totally cool. It's totally me as well. I learn a new technique like hypnosis or something, you know, and I don't have much confidence in it. And I develop it, and then I get more confidence in it. You know, and then I go into a different area, like reframing or spiral dynamics or you know, meditation or something, and then go deeper in it. But when you go down deeper to the core, any ideas so far what else we could do? Go down deeper to the core.
Jennifer's question, is it okay to be confident in one area of the life? So what I have learned is that healthy confidence means to balancing confidence. So it means to have confidence in all areas in the life. But usually what I was talking about is generalization. For example, I'm not confident in one area on the life, and then I'm making generalization. I say I'm not confident, and then everything affects other areas in my life. Instead of going more in details and then find a way how to approach. So
you're saying to yourself you're not good enough, and you're really saying you're not good enough at salsa, or you know, maybe in the morning you're
Yes.
struggling and you say like I'm not good enough, but what you actually mean, like I did this the other day. I don't do it much, but 2 weeks ago I was sitting here and I said I wasn't good enough. What I meant was I wasn't good enough at raising my kids this morning. I was struggling with raising the kids that morning. And I said to myself, I wasn't good enough. And I stopped. What I actually meant was I wasn't good enough at, you know, looking after my kids this morning. I wasn't present enough. I was struggling a bit. I didn't sleep enough. I think I might have been up late, you know, with something the night before. And I was saying to myself, I wasn't good enough. But what I really meant was I'm not good enough with the kids this morning, you know, with 6 hours sleep when I normally get 7. But I generalized it across to I'm not good enough. Luckily, I had the awareness and caught myself. Oh, shit. I thought I worked on it. I ought to go give myself some more love. Now, Florian, mister, please.
Yeah, it's kind of related. But I wanted to ask your input because, I think if you, for instance, you become good at salsa, you start and then you become good at this, and then it starts to build this kind of identity where you're good at picking up skills, and that builds some form of self-confidence, but it's some form of confidence. And the reality is then you will feel like you're able to go on to something else and pick up new skills and etc. And the problem is then this confidence is rooted in the fact that you can pick up new skills and become good at them. The problem is that might not always be the case. If you start something that is actually maybe something you should do, like if you're, for instance, super bad at, I don't know, soccer or sports in general, right? You're great at picking up skills or raising kids, but you're bad at sports, for instance. And you start and you realize that you are super bad at it. That will hurt your confidence because that will hurt your confidence. So that's something that I've seen, and so that's why, like, let me see, what I wanted to say is when you have one area where you're super bad, let's say you cannot base your confidence on the fact that you're doing good or you're doing better or you're progressing, or at least not in the usual sense. I mean, that's kind of how I see it. I'm not sure you understand what I mean by that.
I think it's kind of similar to what I was saying, you know, sometimes you try a new sport or a new dance, or you try to date someone or something and you're like, oh God, I'm hopeless. And it might negatively affect other areas. And then it might be time to go, damn, I need to top up the confidence again.
So in this case, you will just go back and build confidence in some other skills that you have, right?
I will fail fast. Fail fast and take the learnings from it. I'd rather be present and crash and learn than to avoid flying, you know, like as long as we can continually learn, and then if we lose confidence in something, if we can take the learnings from it, we might, and a lot of people will take the emotion, but if we can take the learnings from it and keep the learnings, we actually grow a lot more. But yeah, we need to be careful to make sure we don't beat ourselves up. And honestly, in 2022, I think it's pretty easy to beat yourself up, especially when we got all these movies on TV and songs and stuff, and the kind of world we live in now. It's very easy to beat ourselves up with these things rather than fully accepting and loving ourselves. Harry, she's going to say like, oh man.
No, well, I was just going to share the story of me. I worked for McDonald's 20 years. I created different workshops within McDonald's when I was in Germany and England. But when I first came back, I had a huge nervous breakdown because of people saying I wasn't good enough, putting salt in my coffee and stuff like that. So my mental health went like that. So 20 years of experience of McDonald's, of different countries, different continents. From one second to another, it just gone. So I came up to York and I sat down. I went, okay, I've lost everything. My confidence went down the bucket. I sat there and said, what have I gained from McDonald's? Not the company itself. What have I gained? Okay, I've worked workshops for McDonald's. I can take that forward as a skill. That then built my confidence up. I did workshops and talked in front of people. I trained people. I could take that confidence and pop it out of this huge bad situation I came from and pop it in there. So, okay, that's the second thing that went really well for me. So the bad situation felt like crap, but the things that I gained experience in the times, that's only 2 of them. I had a list of probably 30 or 40 things that I'd gained confidence from certificates to all sorts. I just transferred them straight over. It's your imperfect skills that you're making them perfect.
I love this as a process, Harry. Like, okay, so if that didn't go well, or that salsa dancing, or that relationship, or that student or client you had, you know, look back, take out all the things you learned or all the things that you actually did well, and pulling out all those things that you actually did. Let's call this that. We gotta like trademark this technique. Like, this strategy is beautiful.
It's an imperfect skill that makes you have more confidence.
And that's really what we need, hey, to look over reality, or look over the situation through those glasses. And the glasses, or we might call them frames in NLP, but look over what we haven't mastered, look over what's given us low confidence with those glasses of, you know, what's useful in here, what can be reframed, what have I learned, through those kind of resourceful frames, rather than the kicking myself in the ass because I'm not good enough frame, which a lot of us might do automatically. And a lot of us in cultures like mine, when we've screwed up things, we drink a lot of beer.
Mm.
We poke a lot of blame, you know. Dissociation. Well said, Annabelle.
I like you say, you're sharing, Adrian, when you say, when you feel I'm not good enough, but to state in which area, or I feel failure, but in which area, like you said. So no, it is not good to have these generalizations. And once we go into the details, when we can define what area of confidence we need to get more. Now we need to make a plan how to increase confidence in that area. So I can in my experience, when I will find something I'm not too confident, then first I make a selection in which area, being specific, and then I need to start building the skills. And when we are starting building the skills, then we can choose reading. Maybe we can choose some training. And of course, always the not to underestimate, to give ourselves time, because time is very important thing to build confidence in some area. And it doesn't mean that confidence is something which we need to have every day. But when we have enough confidence, we know to deal in the situation, even we are not full confident at some moment. So you can become okay if the things are not going good, if you feel enough confidence. And you know that things could not always be good, but you also know that if you put enough effort in something you want to improve, at the end of the day, you will make success, you will create success. It was something last year, let's say, I was not much confident in speaking in front of group of people. But I did, I saw that that is something which I need to develop to be better. And then I start reading, learning, and find the ways, and then doing some group talking, even though sometimes we're not good, but it is okay. And that's how the confidence is growing the time, not to say day by day.
Darko,
Yes,
Darko,
please.
can I come in there if I may, please?
Please.
I think that confidence is there within you already. And it is just the question of you believing in your confidence, believing in yourself, and actually allowing it to come through. Don't worry about whatever you think is your consciously self. Your unconscious self is very, very confident. Believe in that and you will come through, no problem.
Yes,
Promise you.
Yes, that is something wonderful which is happening. It's called about true confidence. It happens unconsciously. But the whole thing I want to say is to be in good emotional state, and to be and not to allow that confidence not to stop you in the process of development. That is the point. But to know that it is something we are developing. It is going through time.
And if we are developing it, we may also be developing access to it. And some people will have the model that everything is inside already. So if everything is inside, for example, love, if love is already inside us, some of us might say we need to develop love, develop self-love, and other people might say we just need to open up to what's already there because it's already within you. I like
Adrian, can I concur?
Yeah, William.
Can I concur with what you said? Because everything was within us. Everything. It's just a question of us discovering it, finding the route to get it, finding the route to encourage it to come to the surface, to know. You know, we all know. It's just a question of finding that knowing, in my opinion. That's all.
in finding that knowing, sometimes we particularly have some, tools, some techniques, maybe using like trance, maybe even using meditation or a guided meditation or a guided hypnotic, or maybe a full somatic process. And we might use those processes to get in and access it, typically through anchoring, maybe anchoring past times or expanding past things. And we also may use it to go back and see if there's any roadblocks. Has something happened in your past where it's being suppressed or held back? Is there something in the past for a lot of people from some nations of the world? There's some kind of lines between being like overconfident and arrogant kind of thing, overconfident and arrogant. So they'll kind of like downplay what they're capable of doing. So this accessing and expressing confidence is something which might actually be solidly blocked by negative or unresourceful experiences in the past, or our past culture, or our family.
Mhm.
Like I saw my dad with confidence issues in some areas, and I didn't believe I could do something because they couldn't, where all along I could. I didn't have that self-belief. And you can go, typically you go on a journey of 1,000 miles. You go on a long journey and you conquer and discover that who knows, you guys know the stories, right? The Kung Fu pandas, the Kung Fu warriors, but it's a story of all stories. Go through, there's a need, there's a shortfall, old owl, there's wisdom, there's seekers, but there's this journey to find it. But now what if we kind of just spend time regularly going within and finding it? So if confidence or love is inside of us, what if we simply, I know, simple to some person might not be simple to another. And I wouldn't have thought it was that simple, but what if we could just go within and find that deep confidence, deep love, self-worth for ourselves, magnify it, wake it up, stir it up, and bring it out to the front.
Wonderful. I want to continue. As you said, sometimes we are too much stick to the past. I've also referred to William, says you need to be present here and now. That is important. So sometimes we are too much stick to the past. Let's say if talking about businesses, one business does not succeed, other business does not succeed, and then you say, oh, I will not try, I'm not good for business. But it is very important to be present here and now. So it doesn't mean that something which was not working in the past, it is and will not work now, because one of the presuppositions we go in NLP is that we are all changing. So it means that
all you are is change.
All you are is change. That is the right wording. All you are is change. So it means that we are, every time we are experiencing, and every moment is different. So if we are stick to the past and analyzing, there is an saying, analysis paralysis. Analyzing, so we are not moving forward. And that
Can I give a
one
little
of the
brain
great
hack?
thing.
Can I share a little technique to a little brain hack to put it up?
Yes.
Who wants a little brain hack? Right. When you were thinking before about something you weren't confident in, and you were thinking about something you were really confident in, those pictures were quite different. So when we look at our past screw-ups, or if we look at the things that hold us back, you might notice that they have certain qualities. And typically people only notice the inside. They notice the monkey chatter, but they don't often notice or pay attention to those quality changes in pictures. Generally speaking, if there's any pictures that you want to reduce, you might take the colors out. You might make them smaller. You might push them further away. Some you might want to make brighter and bring them closer. You might want to consider something you're not confident in and start to create a picture, because maybe we just haven't taken the time to picture. Maybe we've pictured all the times it's going wrong, but we haven't pictured it going right. So create a picture and make that picture bright and make it clear so that you can see yourself enjoying doing, being the person you want to be with clarity, and that will make clear pictures. And you might like to see what happens and how you feel different if you make them a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. And if you want to work with any of the professionals, you know we've got a pile of people that have various levels of experience with changing these pictures. Just as Harry mentioned, going back and looking at all the things she learned and all the great points of her experience, what if you were to look back at something you've done recently? Can I ask you guys, can you find a picture in your past now? Find a picture in your past where you have been confident, or perhaps the kind of self-confidence you want more of. The confidence you want more of. Is there an experience of that? Okay, so some people will have an experience of the confidence they want. And now, Florian, you mentioned can you remember one time you've done that? One time you've had that? Yep.
Yes, yes,
Can you imagine 10 more times?
yes. Because it's always the
Okay,
same
great.
thing.
Yeah. Can you find 10 more memories where you've had that confidence?
What I had or hadn't?
Where you had.
Had.
Yeah, it might take you a few minutes.
Yeah.
But could you try it? And maybe if you're a pen guy, maybe make a couple of bullet points.
You want to speak them out? You mean?
No. Just like go through and find 10 experiences where you have been really self-confident. You too, Vlad. If there's a moment in your past where you've been, where you've got the goods, you've found confidence, or maybe you did something where you didn't recognize, maybe you didn't recognize that you actually had lots of confidence and it was just there, you didn't even recognize it. For me, it might be jumping off a small waterfall. For some people, it could be approaching a stranger, learning something new. And I want you to consider and find not one, but maybe 10 experiences where you have.
I have already four or five, let's say.
That's great, Florian. Keep going. Now, Harry went and she found, like, how many things were you proud of, Harry, from your time? You were pulling out all kinds of things that you
There are about 30 of them.
About 30 of them.
But it is a longer experience. So, yeah, there were about 30. I think I stopped at around about 30.
And how did you feel different when you got to, say, 29 than you did before the exercise, or when you were at like 1 or 2?
Well,
Were you like at 1 or 2 going like,
Well, it made me go, okay, then I can do this. I can make this happen. It's like my public speaking somebody gave me the chance to read one of my poems, the impact that gave me made me more confident. So my comfort zone is not my comfort zone no more. My comfort zone is further on because I'm in my growth zone. And then I'm learning, and then back to my comfort zone, and then I'm pushing further.
So just as Harry found like those 30 experiences, what would happen if she didn't take the time to do that? Now, Florian's just looked back and he's found, did you find 10 times, Florian?
I'm at 8,
Basically,
but yeah,
what
almost.
would have,
Yeah.
sorry, I was going to say what would have happened I would have gone round and round in circles in probably depression and anxiety. At that point in stage, I just started coming out my front door to get myself back going again. Now I'm standing in front of 50 people talking to them. That's in the space of COVID.
And that wasn't like a super technical process she ran. She did it on herself and got amazing learnings from it all, and all done on self. So if we actually look in the confidence and we go and get 10, 20, 30, what if we got 30 memories of us being really confident, and we spent maybe, I don't know, a minute or 30 seconds on each memory. If we went back and went through 30 memories where we were like, yeah, 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 there would have to be a point where you would just be like, yeah, and you would lose count, and you'd be 20, it could be 20 times, it could be 30 times. And you might actually find that you've got a whole pile of memories where you were actually really confident. In fact, you've been having so much confidence from life, maybe we just didn't see it before. How many times have you tied your shoelaces? How many times have you walked down the street not worried about your shoes falling off? I'm normally worried about my fly falling down. No, jokes. So how many times have you actually been fully confident and just not realized it? I mean, does anyone stop and go, oh, no, I can't remember how to take the next breath? No, joking. So that's the NLP hack there, right? That's one of the best hacks we have. Like, go through, get 30 reasons, get 30 experiences or 30 pictures. There is a lot more you can do with that, such as how do you access those 30 pictures? Are they in a line, or do you have pictures on a screen? You can actually, Florian, you can take that and you could see like screens. Maybe you could see a screen of 5 times and a screen of 5 times and a screen of 5 times and a screen of 5 times, or a screen where you see 50. And when you think about confidence, you've got 50 examples up on your little, your mind screen, versus someone who goes self-confidence and there's nothing or one. Okay, so there's one, and then Florian looks around and he's got 30 experiences where he's been like stepping up. See, ideally, that's the way our brains would work. Our brains would really set us up to go and do great big things in life. But the neurological way we've been developed as a human race is more to avoid death than to create beautiful things. Could be wrong there. Hey, Florian, we're going to have about 5 more minutes, I think, and then Darko might share a little bit about some of our training that comes up. Florian.
So, like, actually, one thing that I struggle with is one field where, like, basically when I see these good experiences where I've become good, it's something I work for it, and then I got somewhere, in some time. It couldn't be bigger or lesser, but there's one area that and it's been dating, that haven't been able, for the love of God, to do anything good. And the reality is, the time that I spent in trying to become good at that is maybe 20 times the time that I spent to become good at any of those fields that I'm confident in, right? how will you overbalance? How would you balance this? Because for me, it's hard to see the successes when I know that what I'm trying to tackle, that is an important thing. I just like it's not going the same way, basically, not at all.
I
It's not the
kind
same
of want to
process.
just say straight up, I have a coaching session on it, man. I have a coaching session with someone on it, and I have a deeper brainstorming thing with us on it. And one thing that comes to my mind is, I haven't got a clear answer, and maybe one day it'll change from one to the other. But there is a lot of thinking around the chain breaks at the weakest link. The chain breaks at the weakest link. And another lot of thinking is, well, people don't get famous or people don't get rich from their weaknesses. So focus on your strengths. So it really comes down to an individual thing. And someone like perhaps Tony Robbins on the stage might say, the chain breaks at the weakest link, and you got to fix the weakest link in your life, man.
Yeah.
But then someone else will tell you, no, man, work on your strengths, delegate your weaknesses and don't do it. So it's be careful, because you guys are all personal development lovers, so we often hear a lot of one-way direction, not two-way. And if you actually spoke one to Tony Robbins, he'll probably tell you the same thing. Well, chain breaks the weakest link. And and the opposite is also true. People get, and people that are freaks in some area, like they're a freak, like super extrovert, whatever, that's a problem, but it's also a gift. It's a super gift, and it's a super shadow. Some people will be very in the middle there. Boom! You made it here! Good on you. Make sure you click the subscribe button below and check out the playlist at the end. If you'd like to come along to our Sunday sessions where we host a live free Q&A for our students and members, you're welcome. I'll see you there.